Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, Laura.
And I'm May.
And today we've got a hodgepodge episode, a little August roundup, if we will, of things that just tickled us from this month, be it big news stories or some bullshit. Let me just tell you, I have both.
I have nonsense. None of which I would like. They're all very loosely related to business. So if you're new to the pod, get used to the word business being not very literal. Yeah.
Literally, if anyone buys a coffee at some point during the I'm like, it's a business story.
If there was money exchanged in any way, it is a business story.
Had a couple bucks in their pocket while they were doing it. I'm like, that's business. So.
Cool. Well, enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's risque business news.
I just got back from a week-long trip in Martha's Vineyard where I drank excessively for 6 days in a row.
That's why you pay the money, though.
Yeah,
you pay out the ass to go sit on the beach and drink excessively with
it's
like
kind
sharks.
It's sort of concerning. Like yesterday, I had a drink before I left Martha's Vineyard. Then I flew back to New York. Then you and I had a drink. Mm-hmm. We had like 4 drinks.
It was my BFF's friend's birthday.
And then I left that birthday, went to a different birthday.
So we inevitably had to go and do, the birthday.
Right. And then I went to another birthday, and I was like rounding it up in my head. I was like, why am I not drunk right now? I've had 10 drinks.
It was over the course of like genuinely 7 hours, though.
Still, you think it would like compound in some way. Anyway, here we are.
Well, here we are
once again.
So you were in Martha's Vineyard. How was that? Anything of note happen there?
I would say
you do any business?
Well, we did a show out in Martha's Vineyard. It was so fun. The showrunner, her name was Kat. She was awesome. Kat Lee, haha. No, Kat Lee, hee hee. Sorry.
Oh, come on.
Big difference.
Oh, that I see it rhymes with a Lee.
Yeah, look at that. So look her up. She's awesome. We had a really good time. And then after that, we went to a John Hyatt concert. You know, the guy who sings like, have a little faith in me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, but what?
So me and Mark, we're obsessed with, yes, because we saw him at Jazz Fest and we wanted to see the Cry Love song that's in Arrested Development. That's his song. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Cry Love. And he didn't fucking play Cry Love. And it was in a church and there was no alcohol. And everyone was sitting down because there's all these like old Q-tips in Martha's Vineyard.
And then you guys just...
It was so bad.
Queued up.
I'm sorry to say. I love John Hyatt. He was good. The vibe was a funeral, dude.
Dismal.
We were like... And also we had taken mushrooms and we were like, what is going on? Like, it was silent.
What kind of church are we talking here?
It was
like a Catholic, classic, like big church, or like a modern New Age kind of?
I mean, it was like a huge, wicked fucking old church. It's called the Old Wailing Church. And it was really ugly and there was nothing. And it was like very like Baptist looking.
Very Massachusetts. Very
yeah.
Puritan.
Oh, it was
they like
so
did
bad.
Like witch trials at it kind of deal.
Exactly.
Oh, perfect.
And everybody that was there.
You're not selling this guy at all. I'm not going to look his music up.
No, it was like I would say it was a bleak affair, this concert that we went to.
Well, damn.
Yeah, so that's it.
That's disappointing, but you can't win them all.
You can't win them all. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but
that's
good.
I went to Chicago last
yeah.
week. I cannot believe that was 1 week ago because there's been so much going on. But I went to the comedy bar with Matthew, and that place, Chicago, fucking rules.
Yeah, it's great, especially in the summer.
Holy shit. I had the best time. I had so much fun. We got there, and we had no idea this was going on. There was the air show, which is when the Army like shows off all of its planes or whatever, the Air Force, I guess. But either way, it's the United States military randomly flexes on one city for a weekend. We had no idea this was going on. We were just sitting in the hotel, and then they started doing the rehearsals. Our hotel was like right on the water downtown. So fucking fighter jets just start blasting by our window, and we were like, oh, whoa, what is going on? I was like, it's a terrorist attack happening right now, or air show. And thank God it was the latter.
Woo!
That was a relief.
That is a relief.
It was so fun though. I gotta say, lot of Republicans. They really love air shows.
Yeah, they
And-
do. They like everything fun. We were texting about
do.
this. They
I
like
was like-
boats. They like concerts. They like guns.
Yeah, they do. They do a lot of activities where I'm like, why did you guys corner the market on
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Because I had a great time. And
I
would
feel
not-
like when I think of Republicans, I always think of like women dancing in like American flag bikinis.
yes, which should be fun.
I would totally do that, but
God
everyone
damn it,
would.
now you can't.
Oh,
Because
I'm gonna
it's
do
a
whatever I want.
You can do whatever you want. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I did whatever I want, and I went to this air show, and it was wild. It is so funny. They were like, "Oh, it's free," and I was like, "Yeah, no shit. It's in the air."
Yeah,
You
you can just see
dumbasses. What do
it.
you mean? Like, I'm not gonna. How are you gonna charge me? But thanks for emphasizing that this is a free show for us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Actually, that's a really good segue for me to go into my first story.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because somebody did not have a very good air show over the last week. Prigozhin. Do you know who that is?
No, I have absolutely no idea what that is.
He's the Russian oligarch and leader of Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
He was the Russian oligarch and leader of the Wagner private military company in Russia, business connection. Everybody? Private military company. Basically, it's like the armed forces for Russia that they use to do stuff that's even more sketchy than
Yeah.
Yeah. We should honestly probably do an episode on that group as a whole because I know a fucking I basically told you everything I know about it at this
Oh,
stage.
I don't know anything about it. I know they got shot down, right?
Well, no. So,
No, okay.
a couple months ago, Prigozhin does this military coup and basically tries to take over Russia, I guess, like take over for Putin. Because he
Okay.
didn't support the war or something along those lines. There's a lot of dissent. Russia's having a lot of economic issues right now because they're, trying to take over Ukraine.
Right. For like no reason.
Well, they definitely have a reason. I'm too stupid to know what the reason is.
I
I'm
don't
sure
get
it's
it.
like oil or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Or like a military-based situation. I'm not 100% on the whole thing.
Or Putin's got some weird like penile dysfunction, and that's
Yeah.
why. That's just like the only
It's
reason
just
why he's like,
it's like only thing that gets him off.
Yeah.
It's like if I don't get Ukraine, I'm never getting off again.
totally.
Exactly. So the Wagner group and led by Prigozhin tried to do a coup. It got handled, and the whole way that they broke it down was that basically Prigozhin was going to go to Belarus, I think it was, and his deal to end the revolt was that he was not going to have to face any charges. He was going to walk free, and it like kind of looked like he pulled it off for
Oh.
a second, and he definitely didn't, because a couple months later, like last week, his jet, he was in a private jet with like 10 other people, which sucks that they got involved. I'm sure
Yeah.
none of them were like good dudes.
Right. They were probably involved in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Or whatever.
Or they're on a private jet with Prigozhin. Like I'm sure they're
Right.
involved. And the engine like failed.
Okay.
And the plane just goes down between St. Petersburg and Russia, or Moscow, excuse me. It was kind of funny, though, because this guy definitely knew this was a possibility. Here's a video from him a couple weeks earlier where he's talking in full-ass Russian. I'll bring this up.
Okay, you want to read that?
So you can hear man's talking in Russian. Here's the translation. You better kill me, but I won't lie. I have to be honest. Russia is on the brink of the disaster. If these cogs are not adjusted today, the plane will fall apart in midair.
Oh, fuck.
So maybe he's referencing the fact that he thinks that Russia as a whole is a plane that needs adjusting, but most likely he just knew he was about to get fucking murdered.
Yeah.
And he did.
And he did. Okay, great.
So that, I think, is probably one of the biggest business news / world news stories we've had this year, period. Look at us go. We're actually
Wow.
covering the hot issues, just like the air show.
And
Bringing
John
it-
Hyatt's bad concert.
And yes, exactly. We're linking them all together. Did you think we could link those three? I don't know. But we did. What's your story?
All right, let's see. Which one do I want to do first? Okay, so Bethany Frankel has been in the news quite a bit recently. If you guys don't know Bethany Frankel, she's an ex-housewife on Bravo.
Yes.
Turned mogul with like alcohol sales. She sold Skinny Girl. She has her own brand, whatever. Now she's like really big on TikTok. And her thing right now is that she's trying to take down Bravo and specifically Andy Cohen.
Really?
Because what she's saying is she
how my energy to that is so much bigger than it was to this entire Wagner group thing. I'm like, what?
She's biting
Andy
the hand
Cohen,
that feeds, you know?
Putin literally murders a man, and I'm like, cool. I don't know.
Well, yeah. So she's trying to make a union, like similar to obviously like the writer's strike and all, like, you know, they're trying to have more fair wages and all this stuff. She's trying to do the same thing for reality TV stars.
It's not going to work. Bethany.
It's not going to work.
Go off, I guess, but cool.
And so recently she had on Rachel, or formerly known as Raquel from Vanderpump Rules, the one who banged her friend's boyfriend and then got
the bad guy.
Yeah, the bad girl.
Bad girl.
She had her on her podcast to talk about how she was like not compensated for fucking her friend's boyfriend. It was like the weirdest interview ever.
I guess I kind of see her point, because in their not defense, but obviously Bravo made a fuckload of money off of them
like
kind
bad
of
behavior.
Their bad behavior, and their, you know, as much as that's obviously you don't want to do that, like the line between reality and what's going on there is very blurred, and there's money to be made in that
so
in that
much
distinction.
money.
And their lives are the ones that are like not ruined. It's all part of their shtick. I'm sure they're gonna have another act.
Yeah.
But they are entitled to compensation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But I think it really backfired on Bethany for a few reasons. One, she was trying to use Raquel as like a puppet to be like, look how cruel they are to this person. And then Raquel totally blew it, came off super unlikable. It was just not good. And she was like, yeah, I felt like Sandoval and Ariana didn't have a real relationship. Those are the two stars on the show. And everyone's like, but they've been together and own a house together for 10 years.
Yeah, it's a real house. What do
Yeah.
you mean they didn't have a real relationship?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's also like, just because he told you that doesn't mean it's true. Don't you know that by now?
Are you dumb?
Yes,
And she is.
she's very, very
She
dumb.
is. Guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, we did an episode on this entire drama a couple months ago now, I think it was.
And also,
And also, go
congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations, you have a real life. You probably know what you're probably screaming at me about the Wagner group. You're like, the importance of this geopolitically, and I'm like, I don't care. Sandoval.
Oh, we care. But so also Bethany kept saying in the interview over and over again, she was like, I didn't watch your show. I don't know your show. I've never seen your show. And it's like, well,
why is she on your show?
Exactly.
Then?
Why bring her on your podcast? Just fucking binge the last season.
It's not that hard. I'm caught up at this point.
Exactly. It
Go
doesn't
find one of your friends to fill in the gaps. Sit down. It's gonna 5 hours. You're done. Truly. And it's a delight.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So that was really fucking annoying. And then yeah, it was so like manipulative of Bethany because Rachel is so dumb that like it was super hard to get her to say what Bethany wanted her to say. So she was like asking all these like leading questions. She was like, say the thing that I'm trying to get you to say for my cause. It was really ugly. And then the other thing that she did is that she kept talking about how Rachel wasn't compensated, but she wasn't paid for the fucking podcast. And there was like 1,000 ads in this podcast. So it's like, that's hypocrisy, obviously.
Right.
And then she said a few things that were like just lies. She said that the reality stars can't break NDAs to report unlawful acts. And that's...
But they can.
They can. And Bravo spoke out about it and was like, that's not
you
true. Like if they were getting sexually harassed or something, like they could yes, please. They're fine to do that.
Was Bravo the one that just did the Below Deck? Was that Bravo?
Yeah, it was Bravo.
Oh
my God.
Guys,
They have stepped up their game.
I want to be like, have you guys heard about this?
It's crazy. I was like telling Mark about it. I was like, dude, this is the craziest episode ever. This girl almost gets raped and it's all on film. He was like, you're demented.
Yeah, the American has. We're we should be taken over.
Yeah, I mean,
it's over for us guys. Just accept it. But it was wild television.
It was crazy. And then we watched it at our friend
Our
Kelly's
friend Kelly
house.
was like, guys, come over. We gotta go watch this attempted rape, which sounds terrible, and it is. But the good thing is, it's on this show Below Deck where they all like they're reality
all working
TV
on a yacht,
on a fucking boat, whatever. And this one guy is trying to presumably
he's like mounting this girl,
right?
And he's naked, she's passed out,
and the producers, thank God, intervene. Obviously, they had to intervene, but like it was nice to see that. What seems obvious doesn't always occur.
Right.
So it was nice to see them be like, whoa, you gotta go. And they immediately kicked this man off like everything. He's gone.
I mean,
Completely
I
gone.
do think that like early 2000s reality TV, they would have filmed a straight up fucking rape.
I think they might have. And
I
that
genuinely,
is,
they would have been like, our hands were tied. We're just here as
I
like,
don't know.
we're flies,
just
on,
flies
the
on the wall.
Yeah, so that was pretty crazy. You guys should watch that episode. That's the only episode of the entire season I've watched, and I do have no intention of watching.
I'm never watching that show again. I
Never.
watched that and then the follow-up episode where everyone was getting mad about it.
Yeah, where everyone
and then
was
another
like,
girl
whoa.
gets kicked off.
Oh yeah,
That
because she was a
fun.
creep too.
She was
But anyway, reality TV show. I understand like part of what Bethany's talking about. I think the way she's going about it, she's just gonna lose all credibility herself. And then she was also like talking about how some of the other girls on the Vanderpump Rules reunion were super mean to Rachel. And it's like, yeah, but Bethany, then it's like roll the tape, and Bethany's saying some of the worst things you ever heard anybody say in their life. Like it's like cruelest of the cruel, like, you know, to her castmates. So it's like, you gotta be like a little less on the nose, like hypocrisy wise. It's like, what are we doing here?
Also,
You know,
what does she have to? What does she stand to gain from all of this?
I
Because she's
don't
making all
know.
of her money. Like she's good on that front.
yeah, I don't know. Actually, one of her old friends, this lady Carol Radzidwell, who's like a pretty classy lady as it pertains to Real Housewives.
in
You know,
this world,
She's like an
not
author.
like in real life.
She was married to a Kennedy. Like she's like, you know,
okay.
she's got her
What
like
the hell
shit
is
together.
she doing on this show?
I don't know. She only lasted a few seasons, but she
Oh.
was friends with Bethany, and towards the end of their friendship, she was like, she's very Trump-like, Bethany. She was like, she's the best. She invented this. She has the greatest whatever. And then when you start to see it, you really start to see it.
So she's a narcissist.
She's a narcissist who has, I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't fucking know Bethany Frankel, but it seems to be that way.
All
So
right.
maybe she's trying to be like
mean,
a martyr for.
Realistically, everybody on a reality TV show, I'm sure, is a narcissist.
Yeah.
But like, there's still gradients of.
I
that.
mean, why
And
else would you do that? Like somebody was asking me recently. I don't know why, but somebody was like, "Oh, would you ever do one of those shows?" Like, I don't know if there was like one about like comedians or something like that, and I was like, "I really don't think so."
No, you
Because-
you really lose the ability to control the narrative. I have friends who've done it. I almost did Survivor. Did I tell you
Oh
about
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Yeah. I got contacted because of swimming stuff to do Survivor and like went through the whole thing. And then my mom wouldn't sign the release form.
Good
which
for your
is
mom.
hilarious. She was
Yeah.
so worried. She was like, they're gonna like she didn't care about me. She cared about protecting her own name. I was like, what are you hiding?
Yeah, right.
I was like, I'm pretty sure you're good. Like,
Yeah.
at best, it's Survivor. The family's not crazy involved.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, I do think that was smart of her because it prevented me from going on Survivor. But I'd be so skinny, dude.
You would be very skinny.
Whoa.
That's true. That
My friend, one of my best friends, went on it, and it was a fucking disaster. But she did meet her fiance
Oh, well, look at that.
on Survivor.
I
So-
used to have a joke about this. Maybe I'll bring it back. That I used to think that everyone on reality TV was an orphan. I genuinely did. I was like, wow, I can't believe like they found all these like really sexy orphans. Because I'm like,
They
this
went to
doesn't
the
make-
local orphanage and just started doing interviews.
Exactly.
Because
Because I
you
was
thought
like,
their family surely would never let this happen.
yes. I
Well-
thought like people having sex in hot tubs and stuff. I was like, there's no way they're just doing this and then showing up at Thanksgiving. Like, I don't believe it. Right?
That is pretty crazy. Bethany Frankel's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would never put my parents through that.
No, well, I tried to. My parents said no. I said,
Yeah.
shut it down. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
So we didn't.
Okay, what else
I
you
think
got?
I would have done well on the show, though.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Okay, so that was a good one. I have one that is very much not business. Well, it's business in the sense of this. All right, you tell me if this is business. How about that? 2 American men were discovered a few weeks ago after spending a drunken night on the Eiffel Tower. The 2 guys had tickets for Sunday evening and were so drunk that they went and found a corner and passed out. And they found them the next morning. They had slept over at the Eiffel Tower.
Well, the Eiffel Tower probably has staff.
And
they had to
careers.
they had to pay them to clean the Eiffel Tower. Business.
That's a business.
Money was
story.
exchanged.
They had to buy tickets.
They bought tickets.
They bought tickets, presumably with money, and
That's
not sexual
insane.
favors. I know.
I can't believe the Eiffel Tower staff didn't see them.
First of all,
It's like a
someone's
it's like
spitting
a
fire.
see-through fucking building
It's
too. I'm
just
like,
like steel beams, like the
Yeah.
whole thing. Also, how romantic. I
know,
hope
that's
they're
really
gay.
nice.
I hope they're not just buddies who are like, we just did the gayest thing ever. That was absolutely. If my husband or like my boyfriend spent the night with another man on the fucking Eiffel Tower drunk, he's gay.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Right?
I would just be like, just marry him.
You
Like,
should
what are we
marry
doing?
him. That is
Yeah.
the best meet cute I've ever seen or whatever. Like, I love this for you two.
That is really cute.
You are now in a relationship with this other man.
I cannot believe that.
Isn't that? Also, I'm like, well, my boyfriend never takes me to do anything fun.
Yeah. My boyfriend has never fucking gotten wasted, blackout drunk with me on the Eiffel Tower
Yeah.
and slept overnight.
And they were in trouble too. They got law enforcement are like pressing charges against them. I'm sure they'll probably end up paying.
Pressing charges. Take it
'Cause
easy, France.
I know. Relax. First and foremost, it's the Eiffel fucking Tower. Like I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of like the point of it is like
Who cares? Like, it's not like they were like in the Louvre or something where they could have fucked up a bunch of art or
Right.
something like that.
There's nothing they could have really done. And I
No.
think they even note that they said they posed no threat, quote unquote.
Maybe
But
just
I
to
think that they
themselves.
more than anything want to make sure more people don't be like, well, now my girlfriend's been getting on my ass about spending the night in the fucking Eiffel Tower. You know?
Yeah.
And I am going to continue to ride this train and push for. If I'm not
If you're not getting proposed to on the Eiffel Tower after hours,
yeah, they
then-
should honestly charge overnight stays. People pay
No.
so much money.
they really would.
Ugh.
They would pay so much money. That would just be like every night there'd be a proposal there. Proposal,
Absolutely.
Proposal.
Also, you're welcome, Eiffel Tower. Business opportunity right there. We Shark Tanked that one.
Honestly, that would be
Be great. You could charge
amazing.
50 grand.
You could.
I think
Just
you
put
really
a fucking
could.
air mattress out there.
Yeah. Glamping. Eiffel Tower glamping. It's so funny.
Because there already is like when you climb up the Eiffel Tower, there's already a little like gift store area. There could just be like a tiny room with just a bed, and you're just
Yeah.
on the Eiffel Tower.
Little cot, little pull-out couch.
Yeah, a little pull-out couch. How about that?
And then you have,
I mean,
presumably you're having sex on the Eiffel Tower. You know,
Genuinely, that would be like 50 grand at least.
genuine,
Genuine.
absolutely, and it would
Yeah.
be booked out for.
It would be booked
forever.
out for 15 years.
If France ever needs just a little extra spending money, you know, as a country, little pocket change, a little walking around money, 50 grand for the Eiffel Tower sleepover motel banging experience.
Maybe even more depending on like the time of year.
Absolutely.
You know what
The
I mean?
summertime. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Paris in the fall? Get out of
Yes.
here. Delight.
Winter, a little tough.
Winters. Yeah, it's tough.
It's a little
I
tough.
fucking love Paris. Dude.
I really like that city.
It's amazing.
It's-
I say this to Mark all the time. I'm like, when I have like a full blown mental breakdown, I'm gonna live in Paris for a few months. He's like, this sounds like the best mental breakdown
Yes,
ever.
Yes.
He was like,
That's
you know,
like
we
in
could just go and we
Marvelous
could
Miss
live there.
Maisel.
yeah.
Where what the dad or something like has a breakdown and goes to Paris? Is that
Yeah.
right? I might be making up plot points.
oh, it is magical. It
It
really is.
really is. It's what some of my favorite trips have been there.
And I feel like such like a basic fucking bitch, but I'm like,
It's popular for a reason.
exactly.
Yeah. And also, I'm not like London, cool city, but it's too much like New York. So I'm like,
It's like if New
it's
York
not like
and
every basic bitch thing. I'm like,
right.
You know?
It's like New York and Boston had a baby and it was like cute. The cuteness of like the
Yeah.
cobble streets of Boston with the bigness of New York. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. And like the food is horrible
Yeah. In London. In Paris.
in Paris.
I
That's
thought
some
I
food.
like French food.
Yeah.
But I think also there's like only so much. I wasn't there very, very long. So there's only so much you can have.
Yeah.
Before you're like, we're done.
Yeah. I mean, I love an escargot.
I love.
Let's go to Paris.
I'm down.
All right, let's do it.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna close our laptops and go to Paris. Speaking of things that are popular for a reason, I have a update on Lizzo.
Oh yes. Let's hear it.
So famously, Lizzo obviously was getting sued by her backup dancers after she had quote unquote forced them to perform a sex act with a banana in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam, we're doing Europe themes.
We're doing Europe theme. Yeah, we're so global.
God, we're so
And
global.
Russia. Oh my
and
God.
Russia. Wow.
So
Global risque business news.
one thing that people are now saying points to that these women are not super credible in their claims is that all three of them, Ariana Davis, Noelle Rodriguez, and Crystal Williams, after the alleged forced sex act in Amsterdam, 3 weeks after, they had a new contract in front of them and signed up to go on the third leg. They all had been fired for like other reasons, like performance reasons and stuff like that, before they were able to go on the third leg. But they had signed a contract saying, yes, we'd love to continue on this tour.
Oh, so despite the fact that they were like traumatized or whatever from the sex show, they just need better contracts, guys. You need to be able to like, this is lawyers just fucking up, you know?
I think so. I think
the lawyers should have written in there like, hey, anything that you are going to go do, you agree to do, and like,
right,
you know, like here's the terms of your just employment, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not expected to go to a sex show. Lizzo will never hold this against you.
Right.
If you do XYZ, you know.
Exactly.
I suspect that.
So I don't know. I mean, I think like they're going to get annihilated in court.
It'll be interesting to see that all come through.
It will be. And I don't know who to feel bad for yet.
I know. It's kind of fun because I'm like, I can see both sides, but.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I love Lizzo's music too. So I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm still going to bop to it. It's one of those things like I remember like, I mean, Kanye's stuff was like.
Kanye was tough because I think we knew who we were feeling bad for. Yeah. And it was not Kanye.
But I remember being in a workout class and they played a Kanye song, and this was like a week after he had said all this like anti-Semitic stuff, and I was
That's
like,
weird a little bit.
It was super weird because I was like, first of all, we're in fucking Lower Manhattan, dude.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Like,
I was like, most people in here are Jewish.
Yes.
And then, secondly, I was just like, wow, okay, we're just still doing that, whatever. But then Lizzo, I've heard her everywhere, like on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't think people like, who
people
cares?
don't really care.
Also, like,
it's also
nobody
very,
cared
very
about
different because anti-Semitism, like clear hate speech.
Yeah.
And Lizzo went to a sex show. Like, come on.
Yeah,
It's
she
not
wasn't
the same.
eating the banana out of a fucking pussy in Anne Frank's house.
No.
That's something
she
Kanye
wasn't.
would do.
That is a niche kink. That is Kanye's favorite thing.
But yeah, it is sort of interesting, like, which...
Kanye's backup dancers are like, you will not believe the shit we've had to do, dude. Like, you are kidding me that you are complaining about this.
Yeah, or like the things we've have to listen to from this man.
Oh
He's
my
insane.
God. They are like, we have a case.
Yeah, but like also like people will still play Michael Jackson or R. Kelly. So I do kind of like the concept of like separating the art from the artist no matter what. I'm not saying...
Yeah.
I'm saying like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, obviously, you know, those are... bad situations, but like Lizzo, I'm like, I like Lizzo. I don't know, she's fun.
I think she's on a very, very different. The only reason anyone has any sort of credibility to this being a thing is because she is in such a, I hate to use these terms, but like a woke space.
Exactly.
Otherwise, everyone would be like, okay.
I know. That's how when I read these things, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Where like R. Kelly was like keeping slaves and making them piss in buckets on the floor and shit. Like that
exactly.
He went to jail. He's in jail. Like, and he belongs there.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's very much not the same.
Okay.
I am excited to see how that all kind of plays out, though, because I do think it's like interesting how it sets precedent for other legal cases.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Well,
what are you gonna say?
we're talking about like R. Kelly going to jail and stuff, and I'm about to come up with a really unserious one. I told you I have a mix. I did Prigozhin, and then now I'm gonna do. There is the owners of Stoke Fruit Farms in Hayling Island off of England's south coast had issues at their farm. It's a sunflower farm. People come to take pictures. Adorable. Very cute. They had to put out an official notice asking the growing number of visitors that had been coming and stripping naked to pose for pictures to stop doing so.
Oh, let him live. Let him live. That's cute.
He goes, it's so funny, but he goes, reminder to all of our visitors, we are a family area, and please keep your clothes on in the sunflowers. I didn't know we had to say this. We are having an increase of reports of naked photography taking place, and this was not happen during our public seasons. Please.
Holy shit, that's so funny.
I mean, now it's also like, now all I want are naked pictures in the sunflowers.
Oh, absolutely.
Now I'm like, that is a fantastic idea, man. Great call.
They should just hire...
I'll be there next week.
They should just hire a police officer to be there, and if there's like a kid within like a certain amount of space, whatever.
Kick the kid out.
Yeah. Did you ever see it? This is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Ever. I don't think I've ever laughed harder in my living room than when Nathan For You, did you watch that show?
I've heard it. I've not really watched it.
Oh my God. Nathan For You was trying to like get out of a straitjacket. Like he had like makes these little challenges for himself.
Yeah.
And one of them was that he was going to, had to figure out how to get out of a straitjacket, or there was like a robot that was like pulling his pants down in front of a sea of children. And he had a LAPD on staff like waiting because if he had exposed himself to children, then he'd be like a registered sex offender. It was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
That is hilarious. Did he do it?
Yeah, he did it, but
Good
like
for
in the
him.
nick of time.
In the nick of time.
I mean, how fucking, and it's so funny to think about all these like the parents of these kids, and they're like, okay, so here's what Nathan Fielder is going to,
you know him, and they're like, we
like
love him.
Get like super close to exposing his fucking dick and balls to your kids.
To your kids, and we need them to be focused up. Okay, we need your kids to be well rested and in the room, eyes on the tiger.
Oh my
LAPD
God.
is on staff.
It was so fucking
That
funny.
is hilarious.
Genuinely the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So anyway.
Go watch that. Yeah, anyway, so this farm, they've had 6 incidents of this occurring, and they go, yeah, we do have kids here, so you gotta fucking cut it out.
You gotta chill with that shit.
You gotta chill. But how cute.
That is very cute. That reminds me of a different story that I'm not covering today, but the gist of the story was that there was a town where somebody brought like 2 bunnies to and let them loose in the wild, and then they just started like fucking, and now
Sure.
the whole town is like wicked pissed about it because like people had backyard gardens that are all getting eaten by these bunnies.
Aww.
I know, it's like
Also,
the
like, what
cutest
town
little-
doesn't have bunnies?
Yeah, like my sister can't have she wants to have a cucumber and like tomato garden, and she's like, I can't, there's too many bunnies.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like,
All
so
right.
cute.
first world problems. Okay.
Yeah,
Adorable.
right. I know. I'm like, I have rats
Yeah,
and
we have
Drug
those fucking
addicts on my
lantern
stoop.
flies.
yeah.
That's why we can't have nice things, because we have an infestation of lantern flies.
I was actually thinking about that for the new house that I'll never fucking move into in Fort Greene. But we have like a little outdoor area, and I was like, oh, I'll do like a little vegetable garden. And I was like, I'm gonna attract rats.
You definitely will.
The rats are gonna come and eat my fucking cucumbers.
Probably.
So-
You'll have to have like a plexiglass covering. On top.
Yeah.
Like a fucking biodome in your
Oh,
backyard.
they'll get in.
They definitely will.
Oh, they'll
They're like
get
living
in.
in there. They're like, thank you for the house. This is nice.
Actually, TBH, so they'd be like cucumbers. Miss me with that shit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to the backyard of this restaurant and eat some pasta.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have like a full slice.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
street. I don't need your cucumber. I don't need a salad, like a shitty salad.
It's like when you offer a homeless person an apple and they're like, do you want to die today?
Yeah.
Are you fucking for
They're
real?
like, I'm glue. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need carbs.
They're
That
like, "I
is
need
that is a
needle."
very humbling moment when you come to New York and like I remember when I first moved here, I had like granola bars in my bags, like a frequent amount, and I would like offer them to homeless people. And they'd
Oh
be
my
like-
God.
They would never. They were always like, I don't want that. And
They're
it's-
like, are you fucking serious?
and
I want
are you
your-
new here? And I go,
Right.
Yes.
I want money for a bus ticket,
Yeah.
aka
Drugs, which is
yeah,
fine.
which is fine.
I don't,
but, you
I
know.
don't know. It's your life, not my life.
Yeah. Remember one time my friend gave she had like chicken from Momofuku, which is like a really, really good chicken place, and she gave it to a homeless guy, and he was like, I don't want this shit, and, like yelled at her, and she was like, it's from Momofuku. The next one that I have is that Rite Aid reportedly preparing to file for bankruptcy, and the reason is because it's trying to shield itself from opioid lawsuits.
I have just started watching Painkiller.
I know I want to watch that.
It's really crazy. So if you don't know, it's basically like another version. What's the first one called? It's about the Sackler family, and
Oh, the other one is Dope Sick
Yes.
that I saw, and it's about it's about the
basically
Sackler
it's the
family.
same. It's obviously the same story, but I don't know. I didn't watch Dope Sick, so I'm not exactly sure how they're different. So there's like light dramatization, whatever. But point being, is there something about to happen with this case or something like that?
There must be.
Is it like about to hit like a
There must
the
be.
settlement side or something?
Yeah, I don't really know.
I should watch the rest of the show and then look into it and do probably the saddest episode we've ever done.
Oh my god, so bleak.
Guys, I don't
So,
want to do it.
I don't know
but
about
you know how it goes.
The one that you're watching, but Dope Sick was like it was set in a Appalachian town, and they obviously they specifically targeted like low income people from like mining
yeah.
places or whatever, and then they yeah, it was really fucked up.
This one, like the I've only watched the first episode, but basically the person who's getting targeted is he works at like an auto body shop,
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to make it but otherwise it's like a relatively normal town.
Okay.
So maybe they're trying to be like, it's not just people from fucking Appalachia who are
Right.
getting impacted by this.
It's literally everyone.
Maybe that's what the point is. I don't know. But it's very, very condemning of the Sacklers, obviously.
They're great people, though.
Business. Very good at business.
Oh, they're fantastic at business. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. They know what it takes to win.
Oh, yeah.
So, would you like
So,
some more of those?
sure. But anyway, that is crazy. We'll see what happens with how this all shakes out. But what a sad thing. I mean, here's what's interesting to me, too. I might have like said something like this before, but it's crazy to me that like after everything we know about how much we were deceived with the opioid epidemic, I'm like, I'm very like skeptical of pills to solve for things now, and people are not. They're not as skeptical as they should be, and I'm like, but they did this to you already. We already went through this.
There's already precedent for the pharmaceutical industry to be like really fucking evil. And I don't really know why they wouldn't carry on with that, because they made, spoiler alert, a fuckload of money off of this.
They did.
So maybe, let's look into it. Let's do an episode on it to see. I wonder if there are any like rules from the government. This feels like the government's job, you know?
Well, do you know that we're the only country besides New Zealand that's allowed to advertise drugs on television?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where do they advertise them in other countries? Just
nowhere.
Like, just on Instagram.
They literally are.
Just do TikTok reels.
They don't advertise them anywhere. They go to the doctor, and the doctor will prescribe what they feel is appropriate.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm watching just like a sad woman look out a window, and she's like,
Zoloft. Yeah, Cymbalta. They used to make the Zoloft commercials like those cute little like.
They're good commercials.
Yeah, I know. Like,
They're
the
good.
stick figure drawings, and they would be yeah.
I do love when they have like, do you feel pain in here? And then it's like vibrating lines coming off her body. And then they're like, but take this pill. And it's like blue lines come and soothe the pain. And I'm like, yeah, blue lines. Get them.
Crazy, man. I don't know.
Man. I think we should keep the ads. I like the ads.
Okay, great. I feel like the ads
That's my take on this.
It's going to be something that in like 20 years, we're going to be like, can you believe we grew up like knowing the like brand name?
Yeah,
of
that's
things.
Crazy.
That's so
and
weird.
It was funny.
And we're not physicians.
Do you remember like when we were younger how they would have to read the side effects of it?
Oh my God, yes.
And then that like came around, and then they like slowly started speeding it up as fast as possible. So now at the end it's like, may cause death.
Yeah.
What did you just say at the end there?
It's like, this is going to make you hate your life and your wife a little less, but it might cause diarrhea, like anal gland inflammatory, like
you might have a psychotic break.
your arms are going to fall off, and you're going to kill your next door neighbor.
Bankruptcy may occur.
Bankruptcy may occur.
100% of participants committed fraud right after.
And went to jail. That's so fucking funny.
I love it. Well, here's another company that is actually having some trouble. This is a very serious one. So obviously, if you've been following the news at all, you saw the fires in Hawaii, in Lahaina, in Maui.
I have a lot to say about this. My number one,
What?
So
You're like, oh, finally, we gotta get to the meat of the issues. What do you have to say about the fires in Hawaii?
Here's what I have to say about it.
Okay.
Is that obviously, like, if you're somebody who's been paying attention, you know what this is about, whatever. But like, we talked about this last night, is that I think it's interesting how when something terrible, tragic happens, like remember with the wildfires in Australia, everyone like changed their profile picture, like we support Australians, like how to supplies. How to help
about that? That was crazy.
I know, it's insane, but it was like how to help Australia.
I fully forget about that. I feel like I probably changed my fucking profile picture.
Probably.
And now I'm like, what are you talking about?
And the Maui stuff, like, there's none of that like social justice. It's not catching fire.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
It's not burning a hole in our hearts.
But like people aren't like, you would think that right, like you would think about it. You would think that something like this would happen to our own country, and then people would be like, have like their little Facebook thing be like, support Maui, send supplies to Maui, help Maui out. And it's not, and I don't know why. And I think you're about to tell me.
I'm suspicious. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot going on here. I have been on I'm as famously on conspiracy TikTok, And there are some people who have been like, the government wants to take over that land, and it was like owned by the Hawaiian natives or something along
and there
those
was
lines.
also like something to do with they wanted to build some fucking
Margaritaville or something along those lines. Some Margaritaville adjacent sort of scenario. Anyway, I don't know about all that. We should probably give this more airtime at some point once more of the, like, right now it's like fresh. Like they don't know how many people died, which is obviously horrifying.
That's insane.
However, one thing that we do know that just happened is that the Maui government has filed a lawsuit. I actually think it was a class action lawsuit.
Well, I don't know what the
No,
what the
Maui
difference
County
is.
filed a lawsuit Thursday.
What's a class action lawsuit?
Class
versus a
action
regular
lawsuit is basically like, for instance, in the opioid epidemic, if all the people who got impacted by that, like if I get mad at fucking, I'm just saying Johnson & Johnson, and want to sue them, they're going to be like, cool, it's Laura Sogar. Like, we are going to be okay.
Yeah.
But if you, me, and then 50,000 other people who also got impacted
you,
by
me,
that.
and the cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the, if us and all the cats get together and then get a lawyer to represent us as a group, then it becomes a real type of lawsuit, and that's a class action lawsuit.
Okay.
In this case, actually, maybe it's not a class action lawsuit. Maybe it will be. I don't know. But Maui County filed a lawsuit last Thursday against Hawaiian Electric Company and its subsidiaries, alleging that the utility company that does obviously like the power lines all across the island, that their negligence caused the devastating wildfires that burned thousands of acres of land in the state and killed more than at least 100 people earlier this month.
Jesus.
It's saying that they inexcusably kept their power lines energized despite the high wind warning and a fire warning.
Wow.
And that the strong winds knocked down the power lines, which helped ignite the fires and the dry conditions.
Oh my God.
So it's not great. What's interesting is that it's kind of similar to another case that happened with PG&E. Again, I don't know a ton about this, so like people listening, maybe you know more. I'm sorry. I'm just going to collectively apologize already. But PG&E is obviously a utility company that does, I think they just do more in like the continental U.S. In California, and they ended up having to pay a shit ton of money out to people within California because their power lines helped. Like, I mean, California's always like probably on fire right now. You know, like it's always fucking on fire.
True.
We should handle that. I don't know
I
how we
remember,
do.
like, a few years ago, and the wildfires were like exceptionally bad that year. And I remember like telling my friend in California, I was like, oh my God, is it scary? And she's like, May, there are wildfires every year. This one's just like a
Hitting the news.
bigger than it used to be.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I guess what are we supposed to? I don't know. I'm going to read more about this so I can come in with more education, because right now I'm like, this seems cut and dry. No more power lines. We're going back to caveman days.
Yeah.
I got the solution. But I'm sure it's way more nuanced. Like I was reading some of the Reddit threads around it a little bit, and they were saying like people weren't unanimously excited about this lawsuit. And I think it's mostly because they were like, well, they're just going to like raise the rates on the electric. And like they'll file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They'll come back because it's a fucking utility company. It's a monopoly. It's weird that it's private in the first place because like it's a utility. You can't opt out.
Yeah, that is.
There isn't another power source. Generators? Like what are you fucking doing? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It is weird. It's weird that there's not more going on around the whole thing, but they were like, yeah, you know what's going to happen? They're going to file Chapter 11. A couple random people and a whole bunch of lawyers are going to get a big old check. And then from there, they're going to raise the electric rates for people coming back.
Oh, good.
Perfect. I was like, cool. I was excited for 1 second. And then I'm like, never mind. That's the thing with business news is anytime you think something good is happening, it's not.
No, never.
It's
No
really
one does
not.
anything for altruistic reasons ever.
No.
Never. Speaking of gas and electric, my fucking gas is out at my residence.
What?
It's been out for like a week and a half, so I can't cook. I can't do anything.
That is, do you have water heat?
I did.
Water
So
heater?
the hot
Your water
water
heater?
was down, and now it's just back.
Fuck that.
I know.
At least you were gone. That works out.
I know. Yeah, the other people I know in my building were like, yeah, we went and like showered at the gym.
Jesus.
I know.
You're like a gym.
And then and then also
You're like, okay, brag.
we have laundry in our basement, and then
Well, you weren't able to
we
do
weren't
laundry.
able to do laundry.
Oh my God. Fuck
I
that.
know.
This is New York City, folks. This
Yeah,
is
we
what we're
gotta get it
dealing with over
together.
here. I'm in the process right now of knocking on all the wood, trying to buy a condo in Austin to spend some time down there. Not moving, but I'll be dealing with these things firsthand.
Yeah.
I'm going to be calling gas company. I'm going to be on the phone with PG&E just being like, listen, it's Laura Sogar. I've got a class action lawsuit. I should turn my gas back on or whatever it is you do over there.
That is so exciting. When that happens, we need to pop some champagne
We
on
will.
the pod. That'll be a big episode about that. We could do like a housing crisis episode.
Oh my God. I know.
What's something else that's business related that's in housing? We already did Airbnb.
Well, here's the thing. I've been looking into home warranties. Those are a fucking scam. It seems. It seems like so many elements of this process have been
a scam.
me just getting skewered.
Yeah, of course.
Roasted.
Yeah.
By many different groups.
Oh, you're telling me, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Inspections, fucking a scam. Let me tell you that.
We've paid for several inspections.
It's crazy.
It's a disaster.
And it's not cheap. Yeah,
No,
we
it's
should do
not.
that as an episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Presuming that this all works out and I don't like arrive there and the place has been burned down. I say, okay.
Oh man,
see.
that would suck for so everything we talked about in the last episode. Forget
about it. Never bring it up again.
Yeah. You just edit this part out.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I have a couple others, but I think I can save them for another time. I guess
Okay.
here's one.
I have one more that's pretty fun.
Okay, perfect.
So my next one is that Costco. So you know Kirkland Signature, the brand.
Oh, who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
It's quality product.
stuff. So they are now offering refunds for a tainted vodka that they had in stock apparently, and people were posting on social media that it tasted like bathroom urinal puke.
Yeah, it's vodka. Got puke.
That's what they say.
Wow, that's worse than normal vodka.
I
am not a fan of vodka, you guys. When I smell vodka, I puke. So it's actually also tastes like
yeah, maybe it is puke.
Bathroom puke.
Anyway, so then they said it was like contaminated.
That's crazy.
Couldn't even drink it, and I was like, wow, that is shocking because Kirkland Signature is like the best. Do you know that they were gonna do like oh wait, I might have made this up. I think I was trying to write a joke about this, and then I made it up as a truth in my mind, but it's fake. Is that they were gonna do a Kirkland Signature house? They should.
They should do a Kirkland Signature fashion show.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I want to get those sweatpants. I've seen like the Kirkland Signatures that are, it's supposed to be like ironic, but I'm like, they're probably fucking really comfy.
I'm sure they are.
Everybody loves a Kirkland Signature. At one point, my friend Alexa was so obsessed with Kirkland Signature. We looked online to see if they had like a son in the family that she could try to like date. It's before
like,
she was married. Hugh, if you're listening, you're probably not, but if you are,
it's a good product.
Another time when we were
certainly the children must be good people. Mm-hmm. You know, how could you not? You're tangentially involved with
Kirkland Signature.
Yeah.
So that's the last
hilarious.
one that I have. They just put out a nasty ass vodka. That's it.
I love it. Well, my last one, I'll just show you this because this is going to take 4 seconds.
Okay.
There was this thing that was going viral online where people went to the zoo in China and then took videos of this one bear and go, this bear is not real. They were like the airplane lady. They're like, that motherfucker is not real. And they said it to the bear.
I'm so self-conscious about my arms. I like watched that video 80 times of her going, that motherfucker back there is not real. And I was just like, drop the routine, girl. She had like tight, like nice arms. And I was like,
she seems cool. I liked that lady.
Yeah, me too. I actually saw that she posted, she disappeared for a little while, rightfully so.
For sure.
So fucking embarrassing. And then she came back and she was like, big things coming. I was like, big things coming? What's coming?
Mean? What could you possibly be doing, real or not real?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand.
But she is really pretty and she has incredibly shaped arms. So,
and honestly, I believe her. I believe there was something act there that was. If she tells me to leave, I'm leaving. I'm leaving, absolutely.
Well, I read, and I don't know if this is true or not, this is like very much like TikTok University, that the guy next to her was saying that he was going to like take the plane down. And then so she was like alerting people and everyone was like making fun of her.
And then afterwards he was like, I guess I can't.
Because I can't joke about that.
Or joke about
can't
that.
even joke about
that or take
these
down
days.
the plane because this lady just caused a fucking scene.
Yeah, right.
In this case, this bear, basically, I'll put this on our wherever. There's this video of this bear that's standing 100% upright.
Looks like
a human ass being. It looks animatronic. And it has these weird wrinkles in its ass that look like pants. It looks like he's a person in an ill-fitting bear costume.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's like it's a specific type of bear that stands like this, right?
It's a sun bear.
Sun bear.
Yes. It's just a bunny. It's just a sun bear.
So cute.
But and the China Zoo was like, no, it's It's a real bear.
Please do not try to pet it. It's not a person.
It's a real bear. We don't know why we're having this conversation.
That's so fun. It
But-
looks insane.
We're a zoo. Like, what do you think we would just have an empty exhibit if we didn't have a sun bear? Like, we don't care.
Right.
It's genuinely more expensive to make a weird robot. I don't understand. Yeah.
Oh my God. I also saw this really cute TikTok the other day that apparently like this breed of cheetah is like really anxious, and so they get their own support. So like when they're like 6 weeks old or some like super young age, they get paired up with a dog, and the dog is their like emotional support animal. And then so people are like super confused because they'll go to this like one zoo wherever it is, and they're like, there is a golden retriever in
the
with
cheetah
a
pen.
cheetah.
That is adorable.
And they're like, oh, the cheetah needs the golden retriever to like hang out with.
the cheetah's blind. It's
Yeah.
a seeing eye dog. I actually saw. Never mind. I'm not going to tell this story.
Why?
Okay. Well, no. Maybe I'll take it out. We'll see. So I saw this woman walking with a seeing eye dog, and Matt and I were sitting together, and we were just like, "That is so beautiful." You know, when you're like,
Yeah.
it's so cool seeing people like, like paired together, and just like humanity is beautiful, and just the ecosystem. And she walks by us, and then the dog passes a restaurant and starts like freaking out, trying to go in the restaurant. She's screaming at the seeing eye dog.
Oh no.
It has to like pull him to get him back on track and focused up. We were like, oh.
Oh my God. So he's just the worst.
It was a really
Seeing eye
bad
dog
seeing eye dog.
ever.
She was very much blind, and this dog was very much misbehaving. And
Oh, wow.
obviously that's going to happen, but the timing of it, because we were just commenting to one another, like, that is really something. That's amazing. Oh, no.
That is
That dog wants to get in that restaurant.
It's also the cutest thing in the world when people will have dogs that like didn't quite make the cut to be a seeing eye dog, and then they get like,
This lady got the
Adopted.
fucking Kirkland brand.
yeah.
See?
But I'm like, I relate to that dog. I'm like, oh, sweetheart, you're smart in your own way.
Yes,
can
you
do
try so
it."
hard, but sometimes you just want to go in the restaurant now.
Seems like he shouldn't have made the cut, or she.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all we got, folks.
That was fun.
Thanks
I
for
love a roundup.
listening. And yeah, let us know if you like these episodes. I love doing them. I think they're really fun. So the cadence is going to be maybe like a little bit more of these, maybe like 1 or 2 a month, and then
And
then
then
the
our
longer
deeper
form.
dives where we talk about Wagner Group.
Yeah.
So
So.
serious.
So yeah, let us know what you think, and please continue to spread the love. And
Yeah, thank you for doing that. It's been nice.
It's been
getting new
great.
listeners.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your
Follow
cat.
us on Instagram and on YouTube. And if you're listening on like iTunes or Spotify or something like that, please give us 5 stars and write a very nice review, or say some mean things, but 5 stars.
Just the 5 stars really count.
5 stars is really all I care about. Beyond that, that's between you and God. Okay?
That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.